Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue podcast. It is now time to don the black once again as we are getting back into a little bit of Game of Thrones content. So here I am, right off the wall, cold out there. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the new teaser trailer for the upcoming HBO Max series directly from the world of Game of Thrones, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. This is based on the Hedge novellas from George R. R. Martin. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but let's go check out this trailer because I've been waiting all day. Work was a long work day where I could not watch trailers. So let's check it out here. Here we go. All right, let's check out this teaser. We'll talk more about this upcoming show, take a look at some of the comments, and I'll give you a little bit of my personal history with the Hedge Knight.
I was squire to Sir Ireland of Pennytree since I was a boy.
They charged me to be a good knight, to defend the weak and the innocent, and I swore that I would.
Are you Baelor Targaryen?
No.
Then would you move the fuck out of the way?
Sorry.
What's your name?
Sir Duncan the Tall.
Never heard of him.
Do you know every knight in the Seven Kingdoms, then?
The good ones.
Oh,
If you could bring me to Ashford, I could squire for you, sir.
Rob me, and I'll hunt you down with dogs.
You don't have dogs!
I'll get some.
Where?
Oh!
Boys, stop gaping. Sit my horse.
I'm not a stable boy, my lord.
Not clever enough.
I know I'm just a hedge knight, but sometimes I think there could be more.
Why
Classic
do you
Game
treat
of
these
Thrones.
royal lapdogs like they're your betters?
They are my betters.
These men have a name. I'm training. What chance do I have?
I have no chance.
Falling star brings luck to those who see it.
So the luck is ours alone? I need to fight honorably. But sometimes I think I buried my courage alongside the old man.
oh, that's a cool. I saw that picture
And in every
earlier.
man, there are many men.
Not sure what it was.
So be brave. Be just. Be tall.
This looks fun. Like, just looks fun. Um, that's a great trailer. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about, and we'll go into the discussion. But I want to tell you that you can check this out not only in the form of the books, of course, but there's also a few comics. So that's really interesting. Um, but I also want to check out one thing real quick. Um, okay, I wanted to check out what a hedge knight was because I didn't remember exactly the definition. But for example, a hedge knight is basically like a sellsword who has been knighted in some way. So yeah, it makes sense, right? They don't have a lot of land. They're kind of like out there just to be a knight for whoever needs a knight. All right, let's talk about what's going on here. A tall tale that became legend, the new Game of Thrones series, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, premieres January 18. Wow, that's a lot sooner than I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, this is very cool. There's not a lot of difference in the world between a regular knight and a hedge knight, other that knights who are landed, who don't have land, they don't have a claim to land or anything like that. So, I want to go through some of the comments here first. 4 pages for Sir Duncan must have been quite a man. Joffrey, so they say. Yeah, so they are So people in the comments are quoting stuff from the show that refers to Dunk or Dunk the Tall, or Sir Duncan. I know him as Dunk the Tall, and I'll talk about that in a second. They finally gave the Baratheons the antlers on their helmets, which look very cool. Man, Dunk's armor is exactly like the comic book design, and the giant antlers and the Laughing Storm's helmet really does make it feel like a Song of Ice and Fire instead of Game of Thrones, which is cool. I like that they are differentiating the look from the show to this. Sir Duncan's accent is lovely. Your feel good story for the Game of Thrones universe. You get one and only one, and yeah, this is definitely a lot more lighthearted and a lot less stakes than most of the Game of Thrones stuff that you're probably used to. So that's nice. I love the novels for over 10 years. This is the most excited I've been for a series in Westeros. Please adapt it perfectly. We don't need any changes. And I think it should be easier, maybe, hopefully, to adapt because it is three shorter novellas, right? It's not like they're massive books. The Hedge is probably my favorite thing George R. R. Martin has written, so I'm super excited for this. And the trailer really sells how lovingly faithful this adaptation will hopefully become. A knight who remembers his vows. I hope they keep one key feature here: the goodness and hope that the books give me. They need it to be a good person. The world needs that. Fun fact: Dunk the Tall is related to. I'm not gonna read who they're related to because I don't want to spoil it actually. So I'll eat that spoiler for you guys. The actor looks like he's gonna nail the role of Sir Duncan. For a second there, I thought they made some CGI stuff, but no, that was just the puppet dragons, which I think look very cool. Yeah, very exciting stuff. All right, now before we close out of here, which I love this trailer, I think it's great. I love that we are seeing different houses. I love that this all revolves around these games and the life of a knight. I have read the first two series of the Marvel adaptation of the books. So I've read The Hedge Knight, and then I believe it's called A Sworn Sword. I don't think Marvel or anybody ever adapted the third one. Maybe this will be the catalyst to get that going. But either way, I'm very excited. Also, I have a plan to maybe listen to the books while this is coming. I have a few months still, so that might be a nice little winter tale to be regaled by. So, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about, this same series of books inspired one of my favorite films, uh, which it's not a faithful adaptation, but I think the bones are definitely there. A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger, which also stars Mark Addy, who was in Game of Thrones. So like, it's kind of cool to see everything being connected. I think A Knight's Tale uses the same kind of premise of this squire who's lost their knight and now kind of has to find their way around the world. Obviously, A Knight's Tale goes in a very different direction. We don't have anything. I don't even want to talk about the squire because I feel like that's kind of a big spoiler if you haven't read the books. Maybe they'll mention it right away, maybe they won't, but you won't get that spoiler from me. Uh, so yeah, I'm very excited to see where this goes going forward. Overall, I'm still a pretty big fan of Game of Thrones. I like House of the Dragon. I really like Game of Thrones for all, for everything that happened or didn't happen at the end of the series. I still really enjoyed it, and I was sat down every Sunday night, and I would talk about it with friends. The next day, all throughout the week. So very much looking forward to having some more Game of Thrones on my television. This is also a nice thing to have in between seasons of House of the Dragon. So yeah, exploring and going deeper into the world of Game of Thrones is a lot of fun. So as we sit here now, let me know, what did you think of the Night of the Seven Kingdoms trailer? I still think it's a very interesting choice to change the name. I guess the Hedge Knight might have been confusing, but a Night of the Seven Kingdoms definitely brings those vibes from Game of Thrones immediately, right? So, all right, well, there you have it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Bye-bye.